There are moments in life that seem to crack open the veil of ordinary existence, revealing a glimpse of something profound, something fated. You meet someone, and inexplicably, you sense that their presence in your life is not random. It's as if the universe itself orchestrated your encounter, whispering through the currents of coincidence and timing that this person, somehow, belongs to your journey. This sensation, at once exhilarating and disorienting, raises the fundamental question. How do we recognize true connection from mere illusion? How do we distinguish between destiny and fleeting attraction? Carl Jung, the eminent Swiss psychiatrist and founder of analytical psychology, dedicated much of his life to decoding the hidden patterns of the human psyche. Among his many contributions, Jung introduced the concept of synchronicity, the mysterious alignment of internal and external events that defy logical explanation but resonate with deep personal meaning. According to Jung, encounters are rarely random. The people who cross our paths often mirror the unseen movements within our inner world, reflecting both our unhealed wounds and our emergent potentials. In exploring Jung's wisdom, we uncover not only how to recognize authentic connection, but also why deep relationships are inseparable from the process of self-discovery and healing. To truly find the right person, we must first become the right person. Aligned with our own inner truth, resilient in solitude, and courageous enough to confront the unconscious patterns that shape our relational lives. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant, unexplainable bond, as if you had known them long before your first encounter? It wasn't the words they spoke or the perfection of their actions that drew you in. It was their energy, a silent familiarity that stirred something deep within you. According to Jung, such moments are not accidents but manifestations of synchronicity, a symbolic meeting between your internal state and the external world. In these rare but powerful experiences, the boundary between the inner self and the outside environment dissolves. You no longer feel separate from life but intricately woven into its unfolding mystery. The appearance of certain people at pivotal moments signals that you are being guided, that your inner transformations are finding expression in the tangible world. However, Jung warned that not every intense connection is a sign of true alignment. The unconscious can also project unmet needs, unhealed wounds, and unresolved conflicts onto others, creating the illusion of destiny where only attachment or trauma repetition exists. Discerning the difference requires profound inner clarity, a lifelong journey of individuation, the process Jung described as becoming one's true self. In Jung's view, relationships are not arbitrary. They are reflective. Every connection we form mirrors aspects of our inner world, whether we are conscious of it or not. If you find yourself repeatedly entangled in painful, tumultuous relationships, it is not merely bad luck. It is a signal, a summons from within, urging you to address the parts of yourself that remain wounded, fearful, or unaware. The partners, friends, or mentors we attract are often externalizations of our own psychological patterns. A heart that secretly doubts its worth will gravitate toward those who fail to value it. A soul that fears abandonment will cling to relationships that perpetuate that very fear. Until we heal, we unknowingly co-create the same emotional landscapes, expecting different results. Conversely, when someone truly aligned with our authentic self enters our life, their presence feels profoundly different. There is no inner struggle to be enough, no compulsion to perform or mold ourselves to their expectations. We do not feel the heavy weight of proving our value, because our connection to them arises from a deeper, freer place. A meeting not of masks, but of true selves. Recognizing the right connection is not an intellectual exercise. It is not a matter of checking boxes or meeting external criteria. It is a quiet knowing, arising not from the mind but from the depths of the heart. When the right person appears, you do not feel the need to negotiate your worthiness or sacrifice your authenticity. You feel seen without having to announce yourself, understood without elaborate explanations, accepted without condition. This is not to say that the relationship will be devoid of conflict or challenge. Even the most harmonious connections encounter friction, necessary catalysts for growth. However, the essence of the bond does not demand the distortion of your soul to maintain it. Instead, it fosters a profound sense of ease, safety, and expansion. Jung spoke of individuation as the process of peeling away the false personas imposed by society, family, and fear. Only through this courageous shedding of masks can we cultivate the discernment needed to recognize real connection. As you become more yourself, you naturally attract those who resonate with your truest frequency, and repel those who do not. Along the path of individuation, we are often faced with a difficult truth. Not every bond, no matter how familiar or long-standing, is meant to endure. Some relationships, however comfortable or nostalgic, subtly erode our spirit rather than nourish it. They demand that we shrink, suppress, or betray ourselves in order to maintain the connection. Jung teaches that letting go is not a failure. It is an act of alignment. To release a relationship that no longer serves your highest good requires immense courage. The courage to honor the quiet voice of the soul over the loud clamor of fear and attachment. Ask yourself, how many times have you clung to a relationship you knew, deep down, was not right for you? How often have you traded your authenticity for the fleeting comfort of not being alone? Recognizing this pattern is not an invitation to blame yourself or others, but a chance to reclaim your power, to choose yourself first, and trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you. Our subconscious mind speaks to us not only through emotions but through the body itself. Persistent anxiety, chronic fatigue, insomnia, or a dull ache of dissatisfaction are often the body's way of signaling that something within us is misaligned. Prolonged immersion in draining, misaligned relationships can trigger these symptoms, warning us that a course correction is needed. When you meet someone who is truly right for you, the body responds differently. Instead of constriction, there is expansion. Instead of anxiety, there is calm. Instead of restlessness, there is a deep sense of homecoming. Not because they complete you, but because they allow you to be completely yourself. True connection does not demand the abandonment of self. It invites the flourishing of self. The secret to attracting the right relationships lies not in searching harder, but in healing deeper. If your inner world is riddled with self-doubt, fear, and unresolved pain, you will inevitably project those wounds onto your relationships. Jung called this process projection, the unconscious externalization of disowned parts of the psyche onto others. For example, if you carry a hidden belief that you are unworthy of love, you may unconsciously choose partners who reinforce that belief through neglect or criticism, not because you desire pain, but because the subconscious seeks confirmation of its deepest assumptions. The liberation begins when you bring these hidden patterns into the light of awareness. When you recognize, with compassion, the beliefs and wounds that drive your choices, you reclaim the power to choose differently. You shift from seeking validation outside yourself to cultivating unconditional acceptance within. Solitude, far from being a curse, is the crucible in which authentic selfhood is forged. In the stillness of being alone, without distraction or performance, you meet the parts of yourself that society often urges you to deny. You encounter your fears, your dreams, your longings, and most importantly, your innate worthiness. Carl Jung understood that the fear of loneliness drives many into relationships that do not serve their highest selves. Yet true wholeness cannot be found in another. It must first be claimed within. Only when you no longer seek someone to fill your emptiness can you attract relationships that are rooted in mutual wholeness rather than codependency. When you stand complete in your own being, you no longer attract those who demand your diminishment. You no longer tolerate the erosion of your soul for the sake of belonging. You recognize that you are already home within yourself, and from that place of fullness, you naturally draw to you those who honor and celebrate your light. Jung's insights reveal a paradox at the heart of human connection. Destiny is not something that happens to us. It is something we participate in creating through our inner work. The right person is not merely assigned to you by fate. Rather, they appear when you have done the necessary inner preparation to recognize, receive, and reciprocate authentic love. Every relationship, whether fleeting or lasting, is an opportunity for self-discovery. Even those who wound us are, in a mysterious sense, teachers, illuminating the places within us still yearning for healing. Yet when we ignore the lessons, we find ourselves repeating the same patterns with new faces, trapped in a painful cycle of unconsciousness. The way out of the cycle is through radical self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-responsibility. As you heal the wounded parts within, as you integrate the fragmented aspects of your being, you change the energetic blueprint from which your relationships are woven. When you begin to live from a place of self-love rather than self-abandonment, everything changes. You no longer settle for connections that drain you. You no longer confuse drama for passion or familiarity for destiny. You no longer seek to be chosen. You realize you were never unchosen to begin with. The journey back to yourself is the greatest love story you will ever live. And from that wholeness, real love, love that does not demand your diminishment, love that expands your very being, will find you effortlessly and inevitably. The world outside, as Jung often said, is but a mirror of the world within. Heal the mirror, and the reflection will transform. Thank you for accompanying. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below, so we can discuss. Wish you and your family good health.